You're listening to Create Wealth Through Franchising, and I'm your host, Kim Daly. In my 20 years as a franchise consultant, I've helped hundreds of people achieve their dreams of building and scaling franchise businesses to create wealth. The interview you're about to hear can also be found on my YouTube channel, where I post new franchising content multiple times per week. Please take a moment to subscribe to the podcast and to my YouTube channel at kimdaly.tv. Now, enjoy the show. Welcome back to the Daly Coach YouTube channel. Today I have a very special guest for you, or two guests for you. They are the founders of one of the sexiest brands in Kim Daly's inventory. Their names are Deniz and Carlton, and they are the founders of Forever Young. Deniz and Carlton, welcome to Kim Daly TV.
Thank you for having us.
I'm so happy that you're here today. As I said, this is one of the sexiest brands. Maybe it's because of my age, but every service you offer, I think, has something to offer pretty much everybody out there of a certain age. I want to do them all. I want to be a member. So let's talk a little bit about what Forever Young is and how you started this company or why you started this franchise.
So we refer to ourselves as a vitality center. So everyone's pretty familiar with med spas, which we always say we are not a med spa. We do have a lot of the services a med spa would have, but we refer to ourselves as vitality centers. And what differentiates us is that we have the wellness side to our practice. We break it down into look your best and feel your best. So feel your best is going to be all the wellness where we do extensive blood work, figure out what deficiencies patients have, optimize them through hormone replacement, IV therapy, vitamin IV therapy, we have our own vitamin nutraceutical line as well. And then on the look your best side, we have the Botox and fillers and things you would find at a med spa. So that's really the differentiator. We kind of got started with this. Carlton and I were patients of many of the wellness services that we offer, and we kind of saw this void in the industry back in 2014 because we had to kind of piecemeal everything and go to one place for blood work, another place to get hormone optimization, another place for IVs, and go buy vitamins somewhere else. And you're like, why doesn't something like this exist all under one roof? And that's kind of how Forever Young was born. Once we hired our medical staff and the medical team, they brought the expertise of the aesthetics. A nurse practitioner was like, hey, I could do Botox and fillers too. I know how to do it. And we were like, oh, well, that would be a great add-on. So that's kind of how the aesthetics came on. It was a little bit of an afterthought, but we still opened day one with all the services that we have now. So that's kind of how Forever Young started and why it started.
It's really awesome. And I mean, I'm not speaking from experience, but all of those services would be wanted by the same person. I mean, not me, but other people.
Exactly.
So you got started in 2014. And when did you decide that you were onto something that was worth franchising? Did you know right from the beginning?
I would say we opened in August of 2014, but by spring of 2015, we definitely knew we were on something. After we started kind of figuring out, how to operate our stores, we noticed that we were pulling patients all the way from Orlando down to the tip of South Florida. And we were like, oh my God, we're getting to be at capacity. Always talk about having people sitting down, lining the floors of the hallway. And using that as a kind of like a way to measure the success for the day. It was exciting, and we knew that we needed to expand. We knew we were reaching capacity, and so we didn't go right into franchising. We just went into a second location. And what we tell people, if you're looking at a franchise, the reason you're really looking at this concept is because we're selling you a ton of mistakes, and so those mistakes started from day one, and everything was a solve. As we went into the second location, even more things happened that taught us, about expansion, scaling, construction, human resources, how to set things up, when to set things up, what things to avoid. And so through that process and all of that stress came the franchising, because now we're like, wow, we were battle tested. We know what we're doing now. And now we feel like this would be responsible to share it with others. And so late 2018, we formed our FDD. And in the beginning of 2019, we went to market. And even that right there was a process of learning franchising. We knew how to run a Forever Young, didn't know how to run a franchise, and so we took a lot of time to really concentrate and study that, bring on the right people who bring years and years of franchise experience to develop what we have today. And so everything that we have to offer to interested candidates comes from a lot of pain, and the solves and solutions for that pain. And so that's what we packaged in the Forever Young franchise concept. And we tell people, if you want to get into this business, you can get into this business on your own. But what we believe we're doing is giving you a $500,000 to $1.5 million discount to enter this industry, and a lot less headaches.
Yeah.
I love that. That is the value proposition of a good, solid franchise, right? That somebody else has already sweat all the sweat and cried all the tears and figured it out, spent all the money, made all the mistakes, bundled up everything that works and what doesn't work, and hands it to you for the cost of a franchise fee. I love it. That's amazing. So you launch your franchise. I was thinking of the timing. You launch your franchise in this Vitality Center. Like, what happened to your business during 2020?
Love that question. Really like that question because, again, with what we just talked about was being battle tested, and surviving catastrophes and errors and mistakes. And so, to always tell people when they bring that up, and this is the God's honest truth. That was not the most stressful time for Forever Young at all, and that's something I'm really proud of. I think our team is really proud of, is how we handled COVID. We were on the way back from a trip together. Our exec team for the franchise, when people were putting the mask on in the airport and things started getting really weird. And by the time we got home, the trip was all about franchising and franchise scaling and expansion. By the time we got home, we were trying to salvage, staff and calm fears and figure out what to do with our business. So we had to shut down for about 8 to 9 weeks. And during that time, everyone just got very calm and went to work, and no one yelled, no one got frustrated. Everyone just put their heads down and figured out a solution. What we found is that the things that we had kind of set up in advance were the savior for our business, which was the recurring revenue model and the memberships that Forever Young had. And so while we did have to close most of the business down, the wellness side of the business was allowed to operate as essential. And we were actually able to remain profitable because we had patients on memberships. And with our business, as you've already alluded to, people who do our services, whether it's wellness or aesthetics, this is not a fad. This is a necessity. This is more important than almost eating. And so people might go on a diet before they give up their
It becomes
Botox.
your way of life.
Right. And so we were able to remain profitable, optimize the business by taking advantage of our memberships. And then when allowed to open, had a massive demand of over 450 people waiting to get in for aesthetics, which kicked us back into year over year growth, month over month growth. And we had an excellent profitable year, the year of COVID and into 2021. And so we've never had a year where we weren't profitable, including the years of COVID. And we made it through. We didn't have to lay off or terminate one staff member, and we still sold franchises.
Carlton, I've heard that from several other like beauty brands in franchising. It's funny. I mean, I'll speak for the women out there, not that your clients are just women, because clearly they're men too. But, if a woman spends money to look and feel her best, that is a part of how she presents herself to the world. And like when Nancy Pelosi got caught like getting her hair done, I was like, you go, girl, because if the rest of us could do it, we'd be doing it too. Like we were all wearing hats covering our roots, So the services that you offer on the wellness side support a pandemic, right? Getting yourself healthier, feeling better, your immune system super strong. And then, like you said, once we were able to fully come back and be close to close with an esthetician, we all just came back, and the services that we love to do, now we were in much dire need of them. And so it's not shocking that you had like lines of people just waiting to come back. It's such a good story and not what people would think, which is why I wanted to bring you on Kim Daly TV and have you share that experience with my followers, because there are certain industries that people will just jump to a conclusion about, saying, well, people aren't spending money on that during a pandemic, or that business isn't going to work, or what happens if there's a recession? Like, again, beauty is something that it's like not going to be the first thing I cut out of my, and I'm not just, it's not just Kim Daly. There's a lot of women out there and men out there where if this is a part of what makes you look and feel great and present yourself to the world, you're not cutting it out of your budget, right?
Yeah.
You guys are saying the same thing, correct?
Yeah, just to add to that too, we had read some studies that in 2008, when the recession happened, that obviously most people were taking a hit, but they found that more people actually spent more money than they ever have on self-care, specifically exercise and working out. So that was like the era when Orange Theory got really, really big. And a lot of private equity was like getting involved there because they were seeing that more and more people, even with lower incomes or not having a job, they're spending their time, doing self-care things. So we kind of classify ourselves now after COVID into that self-care for sure. You know, they had initially said that like that industry was recession proof, which I could see that. COVID was a different type of recession because it was you just couldn't go in there, right? But people still wanted to work out, and just like people still wanted to come get Botox, people still wanted to do hormone replacement. So I don't want to like jinx ourselves, but I kind of feel like we're in an industry that could be recession proof, just because of, like Carlton said, like once you start these things, you don't want to stop. Just like you were saying with your if you could have got your hair done while you were during the pandemic, you probably would have, right? I mean, so it's the same thing. People are going to feel great, look great, and they don't want that to go away.
Exactly. So your growth to date, how many franchisees do you have today?
Units right now, I believe we're at 73 total, including 3 corporate stores. We have another group of 20 coming down tomorrow, candidates coming down tomorrow, and we should in the month or beginning of June adding at no less than 10 more units. So 73 today, looking to be at 120 by the end of the year, and we feel like we'll at least mimic those results going into 2023 as well.
Hey, Daily Coach fans, if this franchise sounds like a fit for you, I would love to be your Daily Coach. Email me right now for a totally free consultation at inquire@kimdaly.tv. What are you finding? Is there some commonality among the people that you're bringing into your Discovery Day that you're awarding licenses to? Are there some characteristics or backgrounds or passions that the people you're awarding franchises to have? Like, who is this ideal candidate for Forever Young?
Both of us would have a different answer because I think both of us are looking for certain traits that we both possess to be successful. I'll let Dennis share some of his, and I'll share some of mine as well.
Yeah, I was just saying, we're definitely being very selective. We try to bring on franchisees that have a good business background, even if they haven't owned their own business, maybe something that they can bring to the table from the corporate world or whatnot. But also, we want to see patient or franchisees that are either patients of some of these services or passionate about them and understand them. As long as the franchisee is passionate or really wants to learn more about one side of the practice to look your best or feel your best, they have that good background, they'd make good franchisees. Like with us, even when Carlton and I started, we didn't think about doing the aesthetics at all at the very beginning, and we were so passionate about the wellness side. But the aesthetic side has actually taken off just as much, if not more, than the wellness side for us. So as long as you're passionate about one side, like you said before, they go hand in hand, right? So you start feeling better, you want to look better, and then there's a lot of crossover. So it ends up working out that way.
We're looking for people who want to go to work. Like if you have the passion and love for this business, that also means that you probably have a good amount of energy, right, and motivation to promote it and talk to people about it. And so you were right by describing our business at the beginning. It is a sexy business. It is a fun business, but we also work hard. And I think it's very misleading, going into how selective we are. I think it's very misleading in the broker community and franchise sales or with other franchisors when you're telling people that, hey, this concept, it's easy. You just get right in there and boom, you make money the next day. I don't think that there's really any concepts out there like that. And so we're looking for people who are passionate, but also want to go to work. And it's not really work when you love what you do. And so if you share qualities that either one of us possess, or it doesn't feel like labor, but we're looking for that, and we're looking for people who are acknowledging that up front. Because yes, we don't have to run our stores anymore. We have corporate stores right now. They are ran by managers. We earn that, and we teach people how to get to that point. But when we're bringing somebody in, we want someone that wants to pay attention to that business, not some guy that wants to be at the pool for the first 4 months of opening a Forever Young franchise. This is our baby. We love the brand, and when we're bringing people in, it's like a marriage, and we want them to love it too. And we're all going to share in the success together. But there's nothing that's easy in life, and so we tell that to our franchisees, the candidates, before they come in, and we want to make sure that we're fully transparent. Like, we're going to work alongside you to help build your store, but it's going to be a little work. And after a while, yes, then you could be absentee. Then you can open store 2 and 3, but you need to know the business, live it, breathe it. And if anybody, this isn't a Jersey Mike's, it's a privilege to work in this industry, to be able to mesh your passions, your quality of life extension, and your work all together. And so we're looking for people who want that and desire that. I came into this business as what we call a corporate refugee, people who are fed up with doing something that doesn't make them well every day and doesn't make other people well. In this business, you have the opportunity to help people on a daily basis. And 9 times out of 10, they're leaving with a smile, and they're telling their friends. And that's the sexy, cool part about the business. But to get it off the ground, you're going to put in some work. And so we want people who are driven to do that. And that's how we're going to build our business. You asked about how many units we have. We told you 70. It could have been 140 if we just sold to anybody, but we're not doing that. And so we see some people in the industry doing that. And we think that's also going to be a big thing that's going to separate us from other people, because when these people start to open and they're not passionate, and the Forever Young opens up down the street and they are, that's where they're going to go, where there's authenticity and where people love what they're doing. And so we want to make sure we're duplicating that throughout the nation.
Yeah, what an amazing answer. And guys, after that big long explanation of their ideal candidate, did you hear him say that you have to have a license, or you have to be an esthetician, or you have to be a nurse practitioner? I didn't hear that at all. Did you guys hear that?
No, we don't touch patients.
Right. No special skills required other than passion, competitive drive, and the desire to work, it sounds like.
That's true.
Yeah, you're 100% right. And that's the cool part about our story, is the unassuming people, the people that looked at us, that made jokes about us because we weren't doctors. They didn't like the fact that we weren't doctors. We came in with a different mindset, disrupted this industry, and made it cooler and made it more accessible. And so you're absolutely right. We didn't have any of those things. We just knew that we loved these services, and that's what people bought into. And so a lot of times you're going to a doctor, and the doctor that's injecting your face doesn't care about his face, or he doesn't care about his body because he's not taking the services. So he's practicing theory while we're practicing what we preach, and that's the Forever Young difference.
On that note, for anybody out there who is inspired to learn more about this super sexy brand where you can not only look great, but you can feel great as a client in your own Forever Young, but also owning one, please follow the email on the screen below. Deniz and Carlton, thank you so much for being my special guest today on Kim Daly TV.
You're welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Well, thank you so much. Until next time, don't forget that I am Kim Daly, and I want to be your daily coach. If you found this inspiring, please contact me at inquire@kimdaly.tv. My consulting services are totally free to you. Again, that email is inquire@kimdaly.tv. I can't wait to hear from you.